All right, we're going to talk about serpentine belts. What are they? What do they do? What cars use them, etc. What is a serpentine belt? We'll start with that question. All Volvo white block motors, which are the aluminum motors that started with the 5-cylinder and the early 960 6-cylinder motors, went away from what's called a V-belt, which are the individual belts for your AC, for your power steering, for your alternator, stuff like that, and went to this. It's one single big belt called a serpentine belt that wraps around all the pulleys for those and around the crankshaft and turns it all at once. It's a very nice change because it just means that you have one belt to service. The downside of that, though, is if it fails, then nothing works. So with the old V-belt stuff, if your AC belt failed or something, you could still get home. If this one fails, you're stuck. So it pays to know what it is, what it does, and how to change it. So all these models are going to use slightly different part numbers depending on it, or the motor that's in there, because they're just a different length, but the principle behind all of them is the same. Now, in these cars, almost all of them, short of the early 960 models, have the motor mounted transversely, which means basically sideways. So if you look down here on this car, I'll show you exactly where it is. These cars with a transversely mounted engine, it goes this way. That means the front of the motor is right here. So all your drive gears, everything and stuff that you might be used to on an older car that are in the front is now on the side because this car has the engine transversely mounted. So in this car you can see most easily up here at the top is the serpentine belt running on the power steering pump pulley right here. A little further down you'll see where the AC compressor and the alternator and stuff is, but this is the main spot where you can kind of see it and kind of get a picture of where it goes. It snakes all around here and down around the crankshaft and back up. So that's where it is, what it does. Now, when you need to change it, there's a couple special tools that we have that will help you do this. Depending on the year, depending on the model and the motor, your tool that you use might look like this, or it might look like this. They serve the same purpose. And what they do is, there's a tensioner assembly that's a little bit down here that holds tension and pushes against a pulley on the belt to keep it tensioned. All these do is go in there, grab inside it, and detension that while you take the old belt off and snake the new one on. So without these tools, it can become pretty difficult. So now that you know what it is and where it is and what tools you need, how do you know when to replace it? Each model is going to have a slightly different service interval as far as mileage goes. Look in your owner's manual or look in a service manual for that information. Or the easier way is just do a visual inspection. Just like the older cars that have V-belts, you're looking for the same thing. On the belt, if you see drying or cracks around the edges, or if you see these ribbed pieces being kind of broken, that's the sign that you need to replace it. So watch out for that, watch your mileage, just pay attention to it, and your car will treat you well. So if you have questions on any of these items, how these tools work, where the belt goes, what the part number is for your car, give us a call. Any of our customer service reps will help you, or of course you can always check our website any hour of the day at ipdusa.com for full descriptions, part numbers, prices, and everything.